And you talk about JuJu, by the way. I mean, she could wind up beating Caitlin Clark's record. She is just a freshman if she stays.
Can you imagine that?
She keeps the pace. Yeah.
Caitlin Clark rewrote the NCAA record books. But is JuJu Watkins next in line? The USC freshman is dominating with unreal scoring performances, drawing GOAT comparisons already. Could she be the one to break Clark's records? Let's dive in.
So there's been a lot of talk about JuJu Watkins' scoring pace and whether she can break Caitlin Clark's NCAA scoring record. JuJu will have to pick up the pace.
For the past 4 years, one name has ruled college basketball: Caitlin Clark. But now, enter JuJu Watkins, a freshman barely old enough to vote, yet already rewriting the record books at USC. She's got the handles, the scoring touch, and the killer instinct of a superstar in the making. And now the question is being asked, is she the next Caitlin Clark? Or could she be something even greater? The future of women's basketball might just be unfolding before our eyes.
Now, there's a lot of players in the country playing Division I basketball. Nobody scored more points in one game this year than you. That's the most.
That's crazy. Yeah. More to come for sure.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark who?
No, don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that. Much respect there.
This isn't just another overhyped freshman. JuJu Watkins was built for this moment. Coming out of Sierra Canyon High School, she wasn't just good, she was the best. Ranked as the #1 recruit in the nation, expectations were sky high. But if there's one thing JuJu has proven, it's that pressure doesn't faze her, it fuels her. From the second she stepped onto the court at USC, she made it clear she wasn't just here to play, she was here to dominate. Most freshmen need time to adjust to the speed, physicality, and demands of the college game. But not JuJu. She exploded onto the scene with a jaw-dropping 32 points in her very first college game. And she didn't stop there. She followed it up with back-to-back 30-plus point performances, sending a message to the entire nation that she was different. Then, as if that wasn't enough, she etched her name in history with a triple-double. Something most players never accomplish in their entire college career, let alone in their first season. And now, she's putting up an unbelievable 27.1 points per game, proving that she's not just one of the best freshmen in the country, she's already one of the best players, period.
If JuJu was allowed to come out in a draft, Fever they will regret that they took Caitlin Clark #1. Caitlin is great. Yeah. He's not JuJu. If they match up in a tournament, 1,000% JuJu gonna pick her up full court.
You look at the way she's built, and you look at the way Caitlin Clark is built. I mean, she can take contact. She can play through contact. She has an adult body as a 18-year-old.
She's super athletic. She will pick her up full court. They're going to have to set a whole bunch of screens to get JuJu off her. And if she ever tries to guard JuJu, it's lunch meat.
For context, Clark put up 1,662 points in 62 games, an unreal pace that helped her become the NCAA's all-time leading scorer. But guess what? JuJu is already ahead of that mark. Let that sink in. We're not just talking about a great freshman. We might be witnessing the next unstoppable force in women's basketball. Now, both players are absolute bucket getters, but their styles? Completely different. Clark's game is built on limitless shooting range, ridiculous playmaking, and a motor that never quits. She can drain threes from the logo, carve up defenses with elite passing, and control the game at her own pace. But JuJu? She's a different beast. At 6'2", she's bigger, stronger, and more athletic than Clark was at this stage. She doesn't just shoot over defenders, she powers through them. She can knock down deep threes, break down defenders off the dribble, and bully her way to the basket. Her ability to finish through contact, her footwork, her raw explosiveness, it's all next level. Clark changed the game with her shooting and vision. JuJu? She's rewriting the rules with her sheer dominance. The real question isn't just if she's the next Caitlin Clark. It's whether she's on track to be even greater.
So there's been a lot of talk about JuJu Watkins' scoring pace and whether she can break Caitlin Clark's NCAA scoring record. This is not a comparison. I'm not talking about who's better. And as I've been on the record saying, I think the bar to be as good or better than Caitlin Clark is way higher than people make it out to be sometimes, though JuJu is spectacular in her own right. I just wanted to look at the facts of the numbers. And the fact of the matter is that JuJu has scored more points thus far than Caitlin Clark. If you look through their first, it's actually 47 games now, but JuJu is still ahead of Caitlin Clark. Obviously, she scored more as a freshman since she broke the freshman scoring record. So I guess you could say she is on pace to break Caitlin Clark's record.
At 6'2", JuJu Watkins is the perfect blend of elite shot making and sheer physical dominance. She's got Caitlin Clark's deep scoring bag, but pairs it with the strength and athleticism of a player like A'ja Wilson. And the scariest part? She's only just getting started. Caitlin Clark did the unthinkable. She shattered Kelsey Plum's all-time NCAA scoring record, finishing with a mind-blowing 3,951 career points. A mark so high, many believed it would stand for decades. But at this pace, JuJu Watkins is coming for it. If she continues scoring at her current insane rate and plays a full 4-year college career, she's projected to blow past Clark's record.
But not really. Not really when you look at the numbers a little bit more closely, because when you do that, you would see how much Clark picked up the pace as her college career went on. Clark wound up scoring 27 points per game in her sophomore season. Watkins is currently at 25. Then she upped it to 27.8, almost a full point jump in her third year, and finally 31.6 as a senior. So right now, Watkins is 2,703 points behind Clark's record. If we're to assume she plays as many games as Clark did, which is a pretty ambitious number given Iowa won 3 Big Ten championships and went to 2 national championship games, that gives her 92 more games to play, and therefore she would need to average 29.4 points per game in order to catch Clark. That's 4 points more than she's scoring right now and 2 points more than she scored last season. So a long way to go. You know, JuJu will have to pick up the pace, I guess, is the way that I'm saying it there. And I mean, that's just pure numbers, pure data points. And it's still super impressive, the rate at which JuJu is scoring. Again, I'm not trying to prop anybody up or take away from anybody. I just keep seeing those numbers. So I wanted to take a little bit of a deeper look into what it would be. And it's very, very slow.
But let's be clear, records don't just fall easily. Clark didn't walk to 3,951 points. She fought for every single one. She faced relentless double teams, constant physicality, and carried an entire program on her back. And now, JuJu is already feeling that same pressure. Defenders are game planning for her, teams are throwing everything at her, and yet, she keeps delivering. Here's the real challenge: sustaining this level of dominance for a full 4 years. Right now, JuJu Watkins is putting up historic numbers, but the road ahead? It only gets tougher. Defenses will adapt. Opponents will throw everything at her. Double teams, traps, ultra-physical play, just like Caitlin Clark faced night after night. And with every game, the spotlight will get even brighter. The pressure? That's only going to skyrocket. Then there's the biggest question of all: time. Caitlin Clark played a full 4-year career to cement her legacy and break the NCAA's all-time scoring record. But will JuJu even stay long enough to chase that milestone? We're in a new era of college sports, one where players don't have to rush to the pros to make life-changing money. Thanks to name, image, and likeness, NIL, deals, athletes like JuJu Watkins are already pulling in millions while still in school. That's a game changer. It means the old blueprint, dominate college, declare for the draft, and cash in, doesn't necessarily apply anymore. The WNBA is still the dream, but financially, there's no longer a massive urgency to leave early. Take Caitlin Clark, for example. She stayed all 4 years at Iowa, partly because, at the time. But JuJu? She's operating in an entirely different landscape. She's already one of the most marketable stars in women's basketball, pulling in major endorsement money before even considering the WNBA. With brands eager to partner with her and a massive social media presence, JuJu doesn't necessarily need to go pro for financial security. If she plays all 4 years and maintains her current mind-blowing scoring pace, Caitlin Clark's all-time NCAA scoring record won't just be broken, it'll be obliterated. We're talking about a potential record that might stand untouched for generations. But if JuJu decides to leave early, the record could remain intact and will always be left with the ultimate what if. Would she have shattered Clark's numbers? Could she have put the record so far out of reach that no one in the near future could touch it? Or will the allure of the WNBA, and perhaps the chance to make history at the pro level, pull her away before she has the chance to rewrite the NCAA record books? The decision isn't just about basketball, it's about business, legacy, and the future of the sport. Whatever JuJu chooses, one thing's for sure, women's basketball is changing before our eyes, and she's at the center of it all. No matter what happens next, one thing is undeniable. Women's basketball has never been stronger. Caitlin Clark didn't just set records, she changed the game. Her deep threes, fiery competitiveness, and box office appeal brought millions of new eyes to women's college hoops. She proved that the sport could dominate headlines, sell out arenas, and break viewership records. And now, JuJu Watkins is taking the torch. Clark redefined what was possible, but Watkins is building on that foundation and pushing the game even further. She's bigger, stronger, and just as electrifying, if not more. A scoring machine with the ability to take over games at will, she's proving that Clark's impact wasn't a one-time phenomenon, but the start of a new era. Watkins isn't just following in Clark's footsteps, she's carving her own path. And as she continues to rise, one thing is clear, the future of women's basketball is in great hands. So, here's the real question. Will JuJu Watkins actually break Caitlin Clark's all-time NCAA scoring record? Or is Clark's legacy untouchable? And beyond that, are we witnessing the start of a whole new era in women's basketball? Let us know in the comments. Is JuJu the next GOAT? Will she surpass Caitlin Clark? Or is there another future superstar we should be watching? Drop your thoughts below. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more insane basketball content.